Hello. The time, the time, the time is, simply put, the time is, I should say, 12:57 p.m. and it's a Tuesday, and I got up at 12 because I just couldn't sleep. I think I had a nap quite late yesterday and it caught up with me at bedtime. So anyway, I've got my quota of sleep, I reckon. What is there to say? There's lots of things to watch that's exciting. The last episode of The Outsider, the new series of Project Blue Book, and various other recordings. Having seen Cheat yesterday and the day before, 4 episodes of which, I was impressed by Catherine Kelly's acting in there, and I think she's in something called, yes, I can see the picture in fact, she's in something called Liar, so I'm going to give that a bash as well at some point. Series 2, I don't know if she's in Series 1, but I think she's not in Series 1. But I'll play Series 1, Episode 1 and see if she's in there. If not, then I'll jump to hers. And if the show's good, then I'll jump back here. I don't mind watching it out of sequence. It's ad hoc dramas. Dramas that I really like Game of Thrones and The Outsider, and lots of others. Killing Eve, Line of Duty. Line of Duty actually went back and watched, so now all I can watch is the new series, which isn't out yet. I think they're still making it. Peaky Blinders as well. Peaky Blinders, I actually watched it in order. So that's one example of shows that I do watch from the beginning. But ad hoc ones like Liar, I'm going to jump straight to Series 1, Episode 1. If Kelly's in there, then watch it from the start. If she's not, I'll just jump to Series 2. I'm just waffling, it's enough. This is irrelevant to anything. The weather is very windy. It's been windy really noticeably since yesterday evening. And even now, it's just howling like mad. I'm sure there's another storm that I'm not aware of. Not that I watch the news too much at the moment. So I will be popping out for the usual dash cam, probably after the breakfast. I'm about to watch my latest upload. I think I watched it yesterday, but I'm going to watch it again because in that time difference, the processing would have improved, so the quality would be that little bit better, he says. I've already transferred the file, so when I come back from the drive I can go straight to the edit for yesterday's video, and that's pretty much it. Yes, so I'm going to get cracking on the breakfast, well, brunch. The alarm just went off because I've done 2 hours editing. I've had to add 15 minutes to the alarm because I procrastinated for 15 minutes as I undone yesterday's or the day before's Feng Shui. And the reason why I did that was because I saw I received something in the post from my water provider, and of course when I got the envelope I thought, oh, it's the annual bill, and then I was pleasantly surprised to find it was junk mail. But it had a floor plan of the front room, and I thought, oh, is that my flat? And it wasn't. It was just a general floor plan. But I liked the way it had the telly, not in front of the window, but as it is now, and in the middle, and sorry, I mean in the middle of what? And that on the other side of the wall is the sofa. Actually, that's wrong. I was right when I said in the centre, but I'll rephrase that. So you've got the telly, not in front of the window, but 90 degrees in front of the wall. Just in front of that is the coffee table, and just in front of that is the sofa. But behind the sofa on this floor plan, there was space, like just space that people can walk backwards and forwards. And I thought, I haven't got the space here, but I like, and it's in the distance from the table to the telly and the table to the sofa is exactly what I've already had here. And that is why I undone the Feng Shui. It's now 10 to 7. Can't believe the time. Well, I did get up at 12 today. So, I'm going to have chili con carne on toast. With a nice mug of coffee. And I'm going to watch either I'm spoiled for choice. I've got so much Flesh and Blood I want to watch again. The new series of, as you saw, did I mention it earlier? Project Blue Book with Aidan Gillen. And gosh, can you hear the wind? It's still mad out there. Anyway, I shouldn't pause like that. It's dead air. Even on the video, it's bad. So while I get comfortable. Oh, I've never sat like this before. I used to sit like this in class. Anyway, what else is there to watch? Oh, the final episode. I think it's going to be the final episode of The Outsider. Yes. With the delightful Cynthia Erivo. I haven't seen her for about a week since the last episode, and already I nearly forgot her last name. I'm not 100% sure if it is Erivo. I think 50-50, 60-40 that it is Erivo. Yep. So I'm looking forward to watching that. It's the final episode, so that's even better. And the thing is with these shows, and it's so, Netflix is based on these dramas, aren't they? And they're so good, the acting's so good, the directed is good, the cinematography is good, the way it's lit and the colorization now they can do with computers is just, and because of the high definition televisions, it's such a crisp productions. They're crisp productions. But the only drawback seems to be, how do you end a series? It's always, is it good to have it left open? Does that cheat the viewers? The exception is if it's a series that's going to be renewed. If you know the series is going to be renewed in advance, then you know that the season finale is just going to be a kind of build up to a respite. So it's resolved, but there'll be other issues that haven't been resolved that will be carried forward into the next series. But ones that don't have a following series, so like what, probably they start as one-offs and then they get renewed. Those ones that are not certain of a second series, those endings have to be dealt with properly, because it's been building up weeks and weeks and it must end satisfactorily. People should be satisfied with the ending. And when it comes to ongoing series that come to an end, those endings haven't been satisfying. Like Game of Thrones, that ended disappointedly. Have been disappointing. And so The Outsider, I don't know if it's based on a Stephen King book. I don't know if he's written a sequel. If he hasn't, this is probably the final episode and ever. So it has to. Well, it's based on the book. Then it will. The end. It should be satisfactory. The ending should be satisfying. You know why I'm making all these mistakes? Is because I'm thinking chili con carne on toast and coffee and watching The Outsider instead of talking about it. Just seen The Outsider, and well, I suppose the ending was predictable. It even had one of these Marvel after credits sequence, like a teaser, but whether there'll be a follow-up, I don't know. I haven't looked into Stephen King's book anyway, so I don't know if there is a follow-up, but I think it was just a teaser. I don't know. Who knows if it's really, really successful, if it was a hit, then they'll probably make some more, but I don't know. It was a teaser. Everything got resolved. It was very thought-provoking because we're dealing with the supernatural, and how do you convince the world that something supernatural has caused all these fatalities? And that's really thought-provoking, but it's somehow had some closure on it, but yes, it was it wasn't an exciting ending, but it was an ending. Anyway, the first thing I did as soon as it finished was to, and it's open, there you go, DaVinci Resolve, was to turn on the DaVinci Resolve, so I didn't have much waiting time, even though it's only a minute or two. Seems to be very quick these days to load. I must do a benchmark on it. Not a benchmark, but just time it really. Can't benchmark something against nothing. You've got to compare two things to benchmark. Anyway, I must time it next time. I'm sure it's getting quicker and quicker. Right, so I got to continue the edit. There weren't that many clips in yesterday's vlog. I think there was 18 altogether, and I was on the last few before the time ran out. Actually, what time is it? It's 8:30 now. So, and it's still very windy outside. So I'm going to finish off the edit, and then later on, well, that's it. Catch up on programs. I was going to say have a sandwich. I wasn't going to say have a sandwich. I was going to say have chili con carne with rice, because on the way home I popped into a supermarket to get. I couldn't get the beans I wanted, but I got the next best thing, and I got a pack of 4, which works out to be not as less expensive than, just a little bit more expensive than usual, and top up on chili con carne, can of, and a carton of pink grapefruit juice. And what else? I've got some crisps, got 24 packets, that's 2 bags of 12, which is they're already sorted, so it's quite a reasonable price. I didn't have much choice because the shelves people are panic buying at the moment on multi-pack crisps, toilet paper, hand washes. It's nuts. But while I was there, I got myself, I mentioned it before and I backed out, but this time I got it. Chili con carne with rice ready meal. I was hoping to have that later, but I'm so full at the moment, so maybe at 10:30 if I've got room. So we'll have to see. But at the moment I can't think of food. I just want to drink water and edit away. I don't think it'll be finished. I think within the hour it should be sporting, but I'll let you know in due course. just kicked off the export at half past 10, and it's still working out the estimated time of arrival. It looks like it's 1 hour, 1.5 hours at the moment. Right, so there we go, it's kicking off. I'm now going to adjourn to the sofa and chill. I've messed about with the customs. Basically I've used, there's 3 things. There's, I can't remember now, profile. There's profile, there's data levels, and there's kilobytes per second. I've basically set all of them to auto. If it crashes, it crashes. It's only half an hour long, 27 minutes, 28 minutes long. So it should work on any setting really. It's where it's near between the 50 and the 1 hour mark, that's when it falls down if I use a custom setting. Anyway, we'll see. I've got a good feeling about it. I just can't. I had a few. Actually, the PC crashed. It hasn't crashed in a while. But what caused it was something I did on DaVinci Resolve. I was watching a video by somebody using DaVinci Resolve. I just quickly glimpsed something in the background that he was doing, and it was on the Fusion page. This is the visual effects page of DaVinci. And I saw 3D text. And I thought, okay. So anyway, so today I'm doing the thumbnail, and I remembered. So I went straight to the Fusion page. I found the 3D text, and it was it was very, oh my goodness me. When it was 3D, it was 3D. It was like a bird's eye view of a set with these coloured lines, X, Y, and Z. And I typed in the text just to see how I could improvise, and it was too much. So I went back to I deleted all the nodes, because you have to do nodes like a flowchart, boxes, and you pipe them together or put a line, and so it's like a flowchart. So I deleted the nodes. I thought I'd clear the page. Went back to the edit page where I do the edit, and it's got this line at the top. It's like a rendering line. I thought, oh no, it's the whole clip, and it's me talking for like 7 minutes, and it's 7 minutes of rendering happening in real time. Anyway, it's just a case of right clicking and resetting the Fusion setting. Reset it. So I clicked that and it disappeared, and I thought, that's the end of that. Now I think at the bottom of the corner there's an exclamation mark, like a warning. So I clicked on that, and it said something about in and out points, or media in and media out, which is the start and end of the flowchart. You know the one I mentioned? The nodes, the beginning and end nodes. I knew it was to do with the Fusion, which is something I was meddling with earlier. And I'm looking at that, and next thing I know, the screen goes all funny. It's all strange lines, and well, it's like the whole graphics card exploded. It was like lines, and it was just horrific. And then of course it rebooted itself, so the PC crashed. So So that hasn't happened for a while. Anyway, it came back on. I went back into DaVinci and I've just kicked off the export using this. It is a custom export, but I've using the default settings for the three fields in question, three fields I mentioned earlier. And now the ETA has jumped up to 2 hours 12 minutes. So the time now is 22:48 plus 2:12, so it's 1 AM. 10, 11, 12, 1 AM it should be ready for upload. So maybe 1:30 it should be live. And this is the one where I've added the end screen. I've gone back to the end screen. So I'm going to have a previous video link, a best for viewer link, and of course more videos. I just felt like having a structure to it, having a beginning, titles at the beginning, titles at the end. Stick to the same music, Danse Macabre from Saint Camille, whatever his name is. No, I'm then going to I'm then going to alt tab to the browser. I haven't got it open. So that's what's happening now. Now I'm going to crash down over there and I'll probably just say I won't watch any dramas. I have seen The Outsider, as I said. Just going to watch YouTube, something harmless, mindless. Who knows, I might even nod off